Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning, 15 minutes to change our lives. Parshas Noach. Finish off the part of this part of the Sikha. Now we're going to tackle the questions, well, not all the questions, but the question we had yesterday was, what's the story with the Oisius? How does this all connect? So we said like this. We talked about a lot of things. We'll finish off our section, and then we'll do a little chazara. So basically, we talked about that the Baal Shem Tov says, how do we get ourselves out of this Mayim Rabim, whether it's the water from below, the water from above, whether it's the spiritual bothers and concerns, or the physical bothers and concerns. We said you have to go to the tayvah. Like I said in the Parshas, tayvah comes to the ak. But in the deeper sense, the Baal Shem Tov explains the tayvah is the oisius. It means the oisius, the letters of Torah and Tefillin. And through going to learning, that will help us. So we said, so therefore, when a person gets, that's why when we get up in the morning, first we have to say Moedani, you have to recognize it as an Eibishter, and Hashem's in charge, that the world has been created, every single moment by Hashem. And then we went on to this whole discussion about that's why even when the things are in front of you, you can still daven for them. Like we say in the morning brachas, and like the story from the Zohar, that before Rav Weiss would eat, he would ask Hashem, that he should give him food. Now, of course, with the food's in front of him, what are you asking for? Because he was appreciating the fact that the reason why the food is here is because Hashem is making it exist right now. So that's why he was asking for him. It seems like he could say that he was reminding himself, or he was tapped into the reality that the world doesn't just naturally exist. And that's why he was asking for it. And he was on that level. So when it came to eating, and of course, it applies to everything in our lives, not just eating, is recognizing Hashem in that situation. So, yeah. That's what we explained. And then we said, that's also why when the beginning of davening, Hashem needs to make the world recreate every single second. So therefore, you can be in the world without having any of these issues. Now, we said, but on the other hand, if you don't have this, meaning like before davening, what do we see? We see a world, and we see a reality in the perception. Without this perception, what do we see? We see just a physical world. To give an example a quick example. So a few days ago, I normally go daven at 6:45, and I learned Chassidus beforehand. I have a Chavrusa at about 6:10, 6:15. So a few days ago, I come to Shiur, and I go get this farm to learn, and I can't find them anywhere. I'm walking around. I end up walking around for about 20 minutes looking for these farm. 15 minutes. And my whole Chassidus is 20 minutes, but I have to finish it 6:40. So between 6:15 and 6:40 is 25 minutes. So then at least 15 minutes looking around. Can't find anyone. My chavros are all looking around the shul, and they're gone. And then someone from the shul, he realizes what happened, and he goes to some locker, some door. He unlocks it, and he pulls up his phone. And he said, if you don't put it back, then they put it away. And I was not so happy. It's before davening. And I was unhappy. But basically what happened was, because I didn't put the Sfarim back yesterday, so the guy, he as like a punishment for not putting the Sfarim back, which I do every day, he put them away. Suddenly, I can't learn. So I'm sitting in the morning, I'm up at 6:15, I'm not like excited to be up. If I'm not learning Chassidus, I didn't come here to walk around. And so what I wanted to do, this is because I didn't realize that the world doesn't really exist every single moment. And the only reason why it is existent is the Hashem is making it exist. I didn't have that mindset. My mindset was there's a world, and there's people, and they're all separate from the Eibishter, and they're doing their own thing. So I was very unhappy, and I wanted to teach him a lesson. And then, my machshava before learning this, before internalizing this message, was, let me take all this from a shelf, nothing to do with mine, I'll put mine back. I'll take all these other Sfarim and put it down. And every day for the week, I'll pack the table with Sfarim, and let's see what he does. And then he thinks he's gonna show me, I'll show him. But then I started davening. And my davening is not too but I was davening, and I said, one second. When I davened, I suddenly realized, hey, one second, this is Hashem. Hashem is existing. I said, I remind myself, hey, I learned this Sikha, that not just Hashem exists, Hashem is there every single moment. This also connects with what we learned in Tanya these days. And I said, in 1 second, if Hashem's here and Hashem's in charge, so what's nothing got to do with him? Hashem's trying to teach me a lesson. So one guy, I was out for bringing yesterday, and someone told me, so I told him the story, and he said, I said, I don't know the lesson, but I know one thing, it's nothing got to do with the other guy, and putting the Sfarim down on the table, there's nothing got to do with him. And someone said to me, the lesson is that Hashem was showing you how precious the learning of Chassidus is. That you have to remind yourself how precious it is. And this is sort of what we're saying. That when you have your mindset on straight, after the davening and after you recognize the world exists just because Hashem is making it exist. So then you get out of the tayvah, you get out of the issues of the water, the mayim rabbim. That's what I'm saying. That's in a practical sense, practical application of it. Yeah, and therefore, when it comes also to challenges in life, like what should I be doing? Should I be doing this? Shouldn't I be doing this? You come and you can recognize this. You recognize what to do. But if the world is a metzius, like we said, so then you say the burden of the proof is on the kedusha. I see a world, I see something that's mutter, it's permissible. So let me have it as much as I want. What's the problem? It's permissible. And you're telling me I shouldn't have this? Well, prove to me why I shouldn't. But if your hanacha, if your axiom, if the way you look at the world is that the world is really Hashem, and really the world just exists every single moment because Hashem is making it exist. It's not naturally existing. Hashem is making it exist. And when that's the hanacha, when that's your axiom, so therefore, like the Chassid used to say, what's asur, of course it's asur. What's permissible is also not necessary. Why am I having this? Am I just having it because it's kosher? Is that the litmus test? Is it kosher? If it's kosher, I can have it. That's not the litmus test. The litmus test should be much deeper than that. And that's what we're saying. And that's what we're going to finish off now. And this is the mashmos. This is what we're trying to say when we mean come to the tayvah. What does it mean? It means to come into the words of davening and learning. That they should be constantly surrounded by them. Meaning essentially who we are is a person that learns Torah and does mitzvahs. And that's in our life. That's how we see our world. It doesn't mean that you have to necessarily do that all day. You have to go to work and things, but when you look at that person, when you look at yourself, that's where your kach, that's where your focus is. Davening and learning. You have a chavrusa, could be 15 minutes in the whole day, but the whole day you're living with it and you're connecting with it. And so you speak to someone, you don't speak to him, hey, how's the weather, or how's the sports team going, or whatever it is. That's not kedusha. You say, hey, I learned this good shiur. Let me share with you. Or I was learning today's Tanya. I was learning halacha and share it with you. That's what he's saying. Come to the words of Torah. It should give you a geschmack. It's like I had a chavrusa on Tuesday. I learned a sikha that I hadn't done it in a while, like this type. And in the beginning, I was like totally lost where we're going. But as we went, I started connecting, and I was like, wow. And it brought me on fire. And it was so geschmack. And even that was Tuesday. And yesterday, I spoke to someone, and I'm like, I spoke to the guy I learned with. I'm like, I'm still bothered by this question. And we didn't get finish it. What's the answer? That's what we're saying. This is where we're living. This is where we're kaching. This is our life. Yeah. The mindset, the main thing is Torah and Tefillah. And the rest of the things, they're just like intermediaries for them. And this is, he says some beautiful words over here. Now, of course, you still have to go to work, you still have to deal with the world, you have to eat, you have to sleep, take care of yourself. But because you need to be a healthy body, so the Rebbe is saying you should take care of yourself and how you should have a healthy body. So you can do exercise in a kosher way. That's awesome. So then when you're taking care of yourself and you're making sure to eat healthy and go to sleep properly and take a rest and take a break when you need, for the right reasons, this is Avodas Hashem. Or it's something to help Avodas Hashem. And that's totally good. That's what they were saying. Those things are totally fine. Your whole mindset is everything you do is different. You could do exercise because I want to look beautiful. Or I'm going to exercise because I want to be healthy, and I can't serve Hashem when I'm sluggish. I had a friend, he started doing some exercise, and he's like, I feel like a different person. So now he can daven and learn, and he can do all the time mitzvahs that he was doing till now in a much better fashion. So that's 100% good. But this is how our mindset become changed with this sicha. And that the way we look at life, we came to these words of Torah, tefillah. That's our kach, that's our energy, and then everything goes through that filter. And we say, hey, and the more you learn, and the more you connect with the learning, so therefore the way you look at the world changes. And the only way to exempt yourself, to not have to deal with the waters of the flood, hey, mitzayim rabba, whether it's from below, hey, me'aruva is shmayim, whether it's from above, meaning whether it's a physical issues, physical water, like mayim rabbim, or the spiritual ones, he, bo'el tayvah. The trick is to come to the tayvah, come to these words. She'az, that then called dava she'ena in kedusha, that it isn't kedusha, eloy makom. It's no place for you. It doesn't exist with you. And everything that you do becomes in this holy way. And meaning even the mundane things you're doing becomes in a holy way. That's what he explains. And anything that you need to do is in a way of seeing God in all your ways. And seeing God in all your ways means it's not a mitzvah. There's that all your actions should be for the sake of heaven. That means every mitzvah opportunity. B'chol darchecha means all your ways. It means things that aren't a mitzvah, but you can bring out the kedusha in it. And that's what he's saying, that when you have this mindset, when you come to tayvah, meaning, let's break it down into simple. Our kach, our nacha, the way we look at the world, the way we look at ourselves, is who am I? I'm a person that learns, and a person that davens, and a person that does Torah mitzvahs. This is where my life is currently. Now, when I come in from work, it doesn't mean I'm not going to take a break and I have to go straight to davening and straight to learning and I have to open up a safe and I have to do a chitas. It doesn't mean that. Of course, you can take care of yourself and take a break and things like that, but it means what's going on in our life, where we focused is the learning that we do and the davening that we do. And then what are we doing? I'm trying to daven. I'm trying to learn. And an important aspect to this is we have to connect with what we're learning. It's not about just opening up a sefer and learning and I'm so good, I learn every day. It's nice and it's important, but even more, and what will be the lasting effect, is that what we learn, we really learn it. Meaning, instead of taking 5 sichos a week, learn 1 sicha 5 times. And this is how it changed me. I used to have a chavrusa. We used to learn a sicha every night for an hour, and we'd track through it. And I would take one of the sichos, and I'd go over it like 3 times. And I'd learn it, and I'd learn it. And when I'd do that, it was a whole different experience. And I loved it. And it was so, I remember this so geschmack. And I could live with it. And that's what we're saying. That we learn something well enough that we can share it. That and it could be the chitas that we're doing. It could be whatever we're learning now. You don't have to learn something new. It could be whatever we're doing, but do in a way that we're going to earn it. That this would be my tayvah. This is my special boat in the raging waters. When you have that boat and you earn it, so then the whole life is a whole different experience. And with this, we conclude this week's Sikha. I hope everyone enjoyed as much as I did. And we should internalize the message. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot. Take whatever we're learning and should make it our own and then live with it. And when we see someone, we talk to them about it. We don't talk to them about the weather, about the food. When you come to a Shabbos meal, you don't say, oh, the food is so geschmack. I love this food. Oh, how did you make it taste so good? You can ask that because you want to know how to cook properly, but where when you come sit down, you're like, oh, let me share these vayt I learned in the Parsha. You know, in our house, we don't say Dvar Torahs. We just bring. I'm not saying you shouldn't say Dvar Torah, but sometimes you go to a place and some guys, okay, everyone be quiet now, stop talking about your shtusim. We're going to say Dvar Torah for 5 minutes, and we'll go back to talking shtusim. And this is not the point. And this thing, you should bear a tayvah. Our whole kach should be, you know, that's why the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur, he doesn't put all these mirrors. But you said in the Shabbos prayer, it doesn't put anything about like all these songs like in other communities. There's only one song. He said because they're going to be busy talking divrei Torah and words of Torah, and that's what we should do. That's what we should do. And the Mitzvah Hashem will be successful at this, and it should change our lives. We should have an amazing day, amazing Shabbos, and amazing year. Till next Sikha.